Today on Missing Number, a haunted tribal village where dead bodies unintentionally come back to life in Fallout New Vegas.
You like the sight of your own blood?
A dark, ominous hallway in Alan Wake.
Don't go in there, young man.
And the legend of Saints Row 2's Mehrman, a half-man, half-mermaid monster. All of this and more on Missing Number. In Fallout New Vegas, there's a small encampment called the Tribal Village, where human corpses mysteriously litter the ground. The dead bodies are named Burn Body, even though they don't look burnt. Among the corpses are also dead mutated insects called Casdors. A few can be seen alive hovering over the human remains. At first, it would seem as though the Casdors killed the villagers, but among the villagers' remains are also armed raiders called Fiends. It turns out that the Fiends were the ones that killed the villagers, but there's more to the story and this place. In the Fallout New Vegas graphic novel called All Roads, which was included with the collector's edition of New Vegas, the comic reveals that there was a raider named Chance who was a member of the Great Khan's tribe. Chance managed to survive a massacre committed by the New California Republic, but this resulted in him being a drug addict and going berserk whenever he sees fire. Chance and a few Khan members were hired to track down and kill your character in the game, but during their travels, they stumbled upon a burning tribal village that was under attack by fiends. The fire caused Chance to go crazy, and he and his team ended up killing all of the fiends, including the leader who wielded a flamethrower. Chance was badly wounded, however, and so he was given a drug to kill himself, which he did. Chance was buried near the village, and overall, the tale was tragic. However, that would not be the end of the story. Around a year after the game's release, there were rumors that you could hear ghostly whispers at the village. Players also reported that when they revisited the encampment, the human corpses would actually come back to life and attack players. This was allegedly happening to both PC and Xbox 360 owners, and while it sounded like a hoax or creepypasta, it turned out that the dead really did come back to life. In various gameplay footage uploaded online, you can see undead villagers with only 2 bars of health attacking players. Sometimes they would appear out of nowhere and say threatening things.
You like the sight of your own blood?
You like the sight of your own blood?
What's more, you could receive karma for killing the now zombie villagers. Fallout games are notorious for being buggy, so it would be natural to think that this was a glitch. But according to YouTuber Crash Tanner, who looked at the game's files using GEC, a tool that allows you to edit and create content for Fallout, the respawn box for the villagers is checked, even though they're labeled as dead. So this means that the dead villagers would actually respawn back to life, and since their aggression level is very aggressive, this would make the villagers attack you as if they were fiends. This may also explain all of the Casdor corpses. The villagers were so aggressive that they attacked the Kazdors nearby. Most likely all of this was an oversight from the game's developers and was never intended. As for the ghostly whispers that players allegedly heard, nothing was picked up by investigators. However, you can faintly hear what sounds like whispers when visiting a cemetery. If you like this video so far, be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon for notifications. If you have any gaming myths, mysteries, oddities, or Easter eggs, be sure to let me know. Now back to the show. There's something inherently scary about the dark. Our ancestors feared the dark since predators hunted at night, but as time passed and technology advanced, the threat of predators gave way to the fear of ghosts, monsters, and other paranormal entities. In Alan Wake, that fear is intensified in a place you least expect. Upon arriving in a small mountain town for vacation, you end up going into a diner to meet a landlord who's supposed to give you the keys to a cabin that you're staying at. The diner is warm and cozy, but if you head to the restroom in the back, the atmosphere quickly changes. The hallway that leads to the restroom is eerily dark, and an old woman that's peering into the hallway warns you to not go inside. This is what happens when you don't heed the woman's advice.
Don't go in there, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to find Stucky, to get the key and get out as soon as possible.
You don't want to die, do you? Or worse. I warned Carl Stucky about it, but he didn't listen.
Hello? Mr. Stucky?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
Thanks.
Cauldron Lake is a special place. Very inspiring.
You got lucky this time, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark. This really ought to be fixed, and then I must remind Sarah to change the lights at the station. It's been too long already.
If you return to the hallway, the mysterious woman is no longer there, and the only trace of her is a dark spot on the ground.
I hadn't seen her leave, but the old lady was gone.
The old lady was an actress named Barbara Jagger, who used to live in the same cabin that your character, Alan Wake, is staying at. It turns out that the cabin is located on a lake island, where the lake has the power to alter reality through works of art such as novels. Jagger ended up drowning in the lake, trying to search for the lake's power, but it turned out that an evil entity was hiding in the lake, trying to break free. The ominous being ended up possessing Jagger's body in an attempt to lure novelists like Alan Wake to write a story that sets it free. The diner is ostensibly based on the Double R Diner in Twin Peaks, which was a strange 90s murder mystery show that's considered a cult classic. In real life, the diner is called Tweet's Cafe, and it even has the hallway just like in Alan Wake. However, the hallway isn't as creepy and just leads to an exit. The waters in Saints Row 2 aren't the cleanest or the safest. On a small island north of the Marina Beach is a billboard that ominously warns you about an amphibious creature called the Mehrman. The monster is half man, half mermaid, and according to a note on the billboard, the creature is flippered and dangerous, and was last seen off the Marina shore. Ever since this billboard was discovered in October 2008, players reported being attacked by the creature. Monster hunters tried searching for the Mehrman, but it was never found. There is a secret island where a creature can be seen swimming around, but it's not the merman beast. In the city of Stillwater, numerous Easter eggs of mermen exist, like a tombstone, newspaper article, and a bar that bears the creature's name. It turns out that there was a technical artist named Brian Mehrman that worked on Saints Row 2, and so players speculated that these Easter eggs were just fun little things to immortalize Mehrman. 3 years later in 2011, new evidence surfaced that the Mehrman monster was actually in the game. In the area where the Zombie Uprising minigame takes place, a corpse was found on a pile of rubble, and some believed it looked like the Mehrman. However, why would the Mehrman be wearing a shirt, and why is it here on land? Well, according to the in-game lore, an earthquake caused part of Stillwater to drop below sea level. In the sequel, Saints Row 3, there were a few Easter eggs referencing Mehrman, but the mythical beast was never found. It wasn't until around 2014 when YouTubers Flippy and Mr. Saints Row Godzilla 21 found something in a demo disc of Saints Row 1. In the footage, a humanoid figure can be seen in the water underneath the bridge while out of bounds. Not only that, but Mr. Saints heard this. Some thought this was fake, but a similar sound can be heard in Saints Row 2. Upon closer examination of this footage, it looks like the supposed Mehrman is actually one or more NPCs that got glitched in the water. They may have been pedestrians that fell through the bridge, as seen here. In 2021, clearer footage of this glitch was uploaded by another user. So this wasn't the terrifying merman monster as depicted on the billboard, but in March 2018, Brian Mehrman revealed that there was actually a merman model placed in the ocean near the billboard in Saints Row 2, but for some unknown reason, it was removed. He also said that nothing was added underneath the bridge in Saints Row 1, and that what we're seeing might be an NPC that got lost. As for the whale, Mehrman never explained what it was. According to former Volition creative director Brian Trifacante, the genesis of Mehrman started as a joke. At the time, Brian Mehrman was a junior at the Saints Row studio, and so the senior developers would playfully tease him and play pranks on him. Once in a while, someone in the office would shout Mehrman in a voice similar to the He-Man villain known as Mehrman, who was an amphibious humanoid creature. It's unknown when the merman model was removed from Saints Row 2, but there is a pre-release prototype of the game that can be downloaded online. Perhaps the merman model is hiding in there. Around the world, players have encountered strange and unexpected things in their games. Here are some of those encounters. Keeping an eye on things.
That skin's valuable, and we won't always be watching.
Evacuation.
Hellpods primed. Engaging orbital thrusters. Orbit synchronized.
Trick shot. Phase 5.
Saving us from having to sit through that.
Oh, great. Great, we glitched it.
Shadow person.
Ooh, there's my boy. Please tell me you see this. When did I change games? Oh my god. That's scary. That's terrifying.
Wormhole. Safe. Shortcut.
Would you mind coming over here?
Quicksilver. Watch your step. Making my way downtown. Fashionista.
There's a rope here. Do you guys like my new skirt?
Armed and hungry.
Don't recall seeing you around here before. Wait.
What?
Think you dropped something.
Too close to call.
Always slam. And the cover for the win!
Let it go. Explosion of flavor. Nothing can stop him. It was at this moment.
Look at that! 10, 20. How much you want to bet I'll survive this? Oh!
Phase 6. Fus Roda.
Someone help!
Retreat.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but your guards are going nuts out there.
Perfect run.
Technically, the game would say I died one time in the gameplay already. That's a lie. I simply miscalculated and my controller glitched, and it allowed me to get hits. And that I didn't consider that a death.
The Flash. $2,000 hours of gameplay. Vantage point. Decisions.
Bruh, no. Jay, get the hell off of me, you bastard.
I can't.
You jigger
I can't.
bastard, and this bitch stuck.
Yes, we glitch, bro. Bro, we glitch, bro.
Bruh. Nigga Josh here throw it hard. Hey, hit the bitch. You can't.
Hit the bitch.
You can't. Bruh, where referee Chad Patton? Bruh, grab the beef stick. Ow.
This is fine.
I need you to find the vents where the gas is being pumped and ignite it. Oh, and survive the resulting blast.
Blast?
Yes, there'll be an explosion when the gas is ignited, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Now leave me to my work.
Okay.
I'll hold it.
Whoa. Okay. Oh god, can I make it? Ah! I like how the game, it kind of gives you environmental hints as to where you're supposed to go. A lot of the time I don't know where I'm supposed to